Yes.
6 present, 1 absent.
First item on the agenda is, in your board packet is the agenda. I need approval and adoption of the agenda, please.
Second.
Motion by Tiffany, seconded by Jennifer, to approve and adopt the agenda as presented. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? 6 yes, 1 absent.
Next item is board norms, and for August, the board norms the first norm is we will be guided by the mission statement, which focuses on professional development, which enhances success for all students. We will also use humor as appropriate to help us work better together. With that being said, if you would all stand and follow me in the pledge, I would appreciate it.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The next item is our tax rate hearing.
So I'll try not to get too much in the weeds of this. So with it being my first tax rate hearing, worked with the Missouri State Auditor, our county clerk from Gasconade and Crawford County, and our representative from our investment firm just to double check me on the accounting and everything. Is pretty kind of cut and dry. Our real estate went up this year, $427,400. Our personal property, it went up 21%, and that was kind of normal across the state. That's just due to the shortage of computer chips, and so the law is it's by blue book value. That could go down next year if that market gets back in line with kind of normal standards. But that went up 6.6 million, and then the combined real estate personal property tax was at 10 million roughly there. Essentially, we have a tax levy of $3.31. 56 cents of that goes towards our debt services to pay back our loans that we've borrowed. The state minimum then that we operate is $2.75. So we are at the state minimum for Fund 1 and 2. So that essentially is where we would set our tax rate at. The new revenues for this coming year would be $277,331 for that. So it's about reserve-wise, about a 2.7% increase for our budget this year.
And we probably need two motions on that. And so motion number 1 is I move the tax rate for the Crawford County R2 School District be established as follows. Incident Fund, Fund 10, 275, and Debt Services Fund, Fund 30 at 56 cents. Do I hear that motion?
Sean, motion.
Second.
Motion by Sean Seibert, seconded by Jennifer Moreland, that the tax rates for the Crawford County R2 School District be established as follows. Incidental Fund, Fund 10, $2.75, and Debt Services Fund, Fund 30 at 56 cents. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? 6 yes, 1 absent.
And also, I move that superintendent be authorized to transfer each month the amount of the incidental fund to the teacher's fund necessary to meet the obligations of the teacher's fund. Superintendent is also authorized to make internal transfers within the 22-23 budget to maintain positive account balances in each budget account. Do I hear that motion? So moved.
Second. Motion by Roger Bridgman, seconded by Lisa Elrod. The superintendent be authorized to transfer each month an amount from the incidental fund to the teacher's fund necessary to meet the obligations of the teacher fund. The superintendent is also authorized to make internal transfers within the 2022-23 budget to maintain positive account balances in each budget account. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? 6 yes, 1 absent.
Next item on the agenda is board recognition. Roger, do you have anything?
I do not have anything for this month.
Right.
But we just got started. We will.
I'm sure, I'm sure. I didn't think we had anything, but I was like, if you got somebody, something, talk to me now. Next item is citizens' participation, in which 30 minutes have been allotted to residents of the school district and staff to give the board the opportunity to listen to citizens. Remarks will be limited to 3 minutes and 1 appearance, thus allowing for a maximum number of participants in the allotted time in which citizens are to speak to issues. Questions directed to the board may not always be answered immediately, and I didn't say it earlier this evening, but this meeting is being recorded, so anything you say is being recorded. So, do we have any citizens' participation this evening?
Hi, I'm Carissa Eaton, and I'm here to talk about the second grade. I'm sorry, I'm really nervous and not a public speaker. Second grade snacks. I've actually spoken to the teacher, my personal teacher, for my own individual issue. I would like to have second grade snacks given to the second graders as soon as possible. I understand that it's not something that's, sorry, I'm just not good at this. So it's a good regulation for the kiddos. We are actually the only school that I have talked to. There are 10 public schools in our district, or within our area, that I have spoken with, and we are the only ones requiring our doctor's note. I have spoken with Mr. Cross here and told him that, I'm happy to work together, and still that is exactly why I'm here. I just want to let you guys know that it is something that he said that I was one of the first people to bring it up. I want you guys to know that it is important to us as parents. I've spoken to other parents who have gone through with their kids going through second grade, and they did not have snacks. It's super important for those kiddos. I spoke to my doctor personally, and they let me know that yes, first graders, kindergartners, they need snacks. You need to let them regularly plan that for them, because they don't understand and register when they're hungry. They don't understand when that irregulation is occurring. They don't know how to solve that issue. As second graders, they do know how to say, hey, I'm hungry, may I please have a snack? So I would like for us to solve it. I know Mr. Cost says he wants to solve it for next year, and that's great, and I trust him. I know he said that he was going to bring this point up himself. Absolutely 100% know he will do that. I just want to see if we can implement something sooner. Other schools, the 3 schools that do not have it mandated, do ensure that children can have snacks during times such as recess. And I would love for something like that to be implemented. Obviously, I know you guys have a lot going on. I know a lot of changes have happened. This is another change that I'm asking for students. You have about 80 students in your second grade class here in Cuba, and I would just hope that you guys would hear that and maybe we can make a change. I'm willing to personally donate $2,300 towards this snack. I am willing to go further and keep a snack program. I know us parents go ahead and we move forward and make sure that we bring snacks to school. I know free breakfasts and lunches are gone, so a lot of these students, sometimes the snacks are one of the main meals that they get every day because they don't get snacks when they get home. I know my kids are ready for a snack when they get home. These are 7-year-olds we're talking about. When you talk about, hey, the 7-year-old didn't have a snack all day long, that's kind of, concerning. So it is an issue, and I know I'm the first one to bring it up. Mr. Cox definitely worked with me. Sorry, is that my time?
Yes. And thank you for bringing it up, and Mr. Cross, I look forward to following back up with that in the future. Is there any other citizens' participation for this evening? Having that said, we will move into consent agenda items in your board packets. Part of those consent agenda items, does anybody have any questions or concerns, or do we have a motion for the consent agenda items?
Sean, motion. Second.
Motion by Sean Siebert, seconded by Roger Bridgman, to approve the consent agenda as presented. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed?
financial statements and action on the bills. Does any board members have any questions, any concerns, or do we hear a motion to pay the bills?
Motion.
Motion by Jennifer Moreland, seconded by Tiffany Dickens, to approve the financial statement and action on the bills as presented. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? 6 yes, 1 absent.
Next item is administrative reports. First item is board and committee reports. I usually count on Sherry. Does anybody have any board or committee reports since last time we got together? Then we will move into the building principals report. Also in your board packets is a report from each of our principals. And so I will start off with in the elementary school with Mr. Cross. Do you have anything in addition that you'd like to add?
Just that open house went really well. We had a huge turnout. It was just kind of a positive thing to have the kiddos back. And while it is great to have all of our teachers back through those trainings, it was an uplifting thing. We've had a really solid first solid 4 days of school. The traffic has been perfect, so we've enjoyed that, and just excited to have kids back.
Good. Does any board members have any questions about anything that was in the elementary school packet? And we will move right into the middle school. Do you have anything, any additions that you'd like to add to your report?
No, life in the middle is pretty good right now.
I'd like to hear it. 4 days in. Does anybody have any questions about the middle school? Then we will move directly into the high school. Do you have any additions that you'd like to add?
I'll add that the lines were taped today on the gym floor, and he's anticipating painting the first layer tomorrow, and then anticipating the second layer on Monday, and then 2 layers of lacquer after that, and then hopefully we are really close.
Yeah.
So other than that,
That's awesome.
I know, Marie, you said that you don't have any online students at this time. Do the other two, do you guys have any online students?
yes, we do in our ALC.
Okay.
And I think when I submitted the report, I think we were at 4, we may be at 5 now.
Okay. Thank you.
I did have one that reached out to me this year, or this week, about the MOCAP program.
Okay.
But they haven't moved forward with that yet,
Okay.
so I'm not sure what they're gonna do. But other than that, I have everybody in seat, so.
And yes, I did see in your report where you talked about that, but my brain went. It was too technical for the way that my brain is working right now. Or whatever it is.
We will move right into the special education director's report that is also in our packet. Do you have anything in addition or?
It's been a great start.
Good. Does anybody have any questions? We will go right in. The next item in your board packet is the student representative report, and I thank you very much for putting that out there. How's our school been?
Good. On the 18th, Stuco and the administration, we did Freshman Expo, and we had a really good turnout of all freshman students and showed them around the school and made them feel more comfortable coming to high school. We've seen a really good involvement in all the sports this summer through weights and just summer activities. All of the sports are getting ready to kick off. Football travels to Owensville on Friday for their first game. Softball goes to South Callaway on Monday, and volleyball has their first home game on Tuesday versus New Haven. And we do have homecoming right around the corner on September 23rd.
Softball's also in a tournament tomorrow and Saturday. Taking it all early.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Thank you. Thank you. Next item is the assistant superintendent's report that is also in our board packet. Do you have anything you want to add or
I do,
clarify?
yeah, just
Please.
a few things. I wanted to give you guys an update on our Fresh Ideas, which is our new food services here. So Corinne McGinnis and Shannon Fife are leading the way with the Fresh Ideas. That's gone very well. We've had a few procedural kinks that we've had to work out, but overall the kids are enjoying that they get more food choices. And so we've been able to have a real positive start with that, and they're enjoying the meals that are being provided. developing procedures for how we get new materials, and then how we respond if we have a request for reconsideration of a material. That was at the advice of our legal counsel, so I'm working with them to develop a universal procedure for all three libraries.
Awesome, thank you.
Welcome.
I've heard good things about lunchtime. And keep up the good work. Does anybody else have any questions before I move into the superintendent's report? This next report in our packet, Dr. Davidson.
All right, so I have a few things to add, some good stuff. We have per policy approved an out-of-state trip to the National FFA Convention in Indianapolis, Indiana. I'll be October 26th through the 29th. Ms. Priest and approximately 10 students will charter a bus with Indiana and Lynn chapters. So the district will pay the portion of what we would normally cost us for a bus and the driver, and then FFA will either fundraise or use the funds to pay the difference there. So I have the certificate of insurance on file, and we're covered that way with that. But pretty exciting for them to go. I don't believe they went last year, so this year will be a good trip for them. We have the Elizabeth Lewis Psy Trust money, an amount of $150,000, so we get that yearly, and put that money towards some salary of high school teachers to help benefit those programs. Interactive brain break software for elementary students, and math curriculum for K-8, which is all in compliance with how the trust is set up. It's divvied out by certain percentages, so Mr. Bridgman, I'll ask you to sign afterwards, and Ms. Schutte, there are two trustees on the board for that. Had a good meeting with Chief Shelton and Sheriff Landon individually, and both are excited to have the program up and running and SROs here. So we're in a good place with our SROs in the program, and just looking forward to working together with each other. One of the things that it talked about looking at a character education program, so we're going to move forward. Our guidance department's excited about getting that program, and that'll help cover with students in self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship skills, and responsible decision making. But with that, with some of the content, we will give parents notice of what that is, and they're welcome to opt out if they choose to do so, and that's part of the student rights per policy. As far as that goes, there's a self-assessment a student would use a scale, and it's not numbered. It's a red frowny face all the way up to a green smiley face and different pieces in between. But it just helps the student to kind of gauge that. But it's good, just curriculum content and character development, just like we do math and reading. It's beneficial for character development. So our guidance counselors are excited about that. Then just an update on current enrollment as of today, there's 450 students in the elementary, 338 in the middle school, and 456 in the high school, which gives us a total of 1,294 students.
Does anybody have any questions for Dr. Davidson?
Just answered the one I had, so.
There you go.
You know, and I think it's just a great idea, a great thing that we do have the SRO program going, because lots of districts are struggling very hard to get SROs in their buildings, and we are blessed to have 3 in ours. So I think that's thanks to everyone that helped with that program and getting that going for sure, because I think that's great for our staff and our students for sure. So.
Next item, we're going to move into some unfinished business. Dr. Davidson, tell me about the 2022-2023 budget update.
Yeah, so just to bring some more information to you financially, transportation will be fully funded this year. Fully funded means 75% of our costs, so it's not 100%. So when it's fully funded, that's at 75%. For us, that would roughly, if it is the full 75%, be about $270,000, but that's additional one-time money. So I talked to some financial individuals at DESE. They caution, though, they think DESE may have underestimated the fuel cost, and so we won't get the full 75%. And they said it may be more 240, 250,000, but they said wait until October live payment to see. They said they couldn't really tell us where to use the money, but they highly cautioned in using that money in recurring costs. So again, it's just kind of a chunk of one-time money. I'll circle back around to that in just a second. So a legislative update, which is interesting, our governor is seeking to lower the top individual income tax rate from the current 5.3% to 4.8%, starting January 1st, 2023. But what this will do is create a decrease in state revenue by $669 million per year. There is, oh, sorry, I thought you had a question. He's also calling to increase the standard deduction by $2,000 for single returns and $4,000 for combined filers, and eliminate taxes on bottom bracket on income. So this would permanently decrease the state revenue by another $285 million per year. So the Missouri projected budget is expected to decrease by $950 million per year. Governor is estimating $700 million, but bringing that up because that's the money that's used for funding the state formula for education. So when we look at transportation next year, that money may be off the table. I think the teacher minimum salary grant will be there next year because he's here one more year. But then when you look at career ladder, that's probably one and done funding likely if this comes to fruition and that money's taken away. So just sharing that, talking to some other economists, they're reading some of their stuff. They're looking at this year, maybe the year people's credit cards max out and savings deplete, and then next year there'll be even less revenue because people won't be spending as much next year. So just kind of sharing with a realistic piece of kind of getting into a reserve mode with money and finances, so we have a long-term plan. With the tax rate hearing, it's good we have $277,000 in new money, which is 2.7% increase in reserves. But I looked up the national inflation rate today, and it's 8.5%. So at 2.7, you can essentially kind of wipe that off the books with increased. Because as I looked at our utility increase last year in August, at this time to this year, there was a 31% increase in utilities with electric and water. There was a 101% increase. So we haven't even got into the fuel because we haven't had September. We won't get a full month of fuel bids. So again, just kind of sharing that financially we need to look at be strategic on what we do. I talked with a mentor of mine who's been in superintendency for quite a while. They have $1 million set aside in capital projects that they just leave in case there's a roof that got blown off a building or a wall fell in or whatever. So looking at our budget equivalency, $750,000 would be a nice number to maybe think about leaving in there. So kind of looking at some of this going forward projects. We still have money to do things, so don't think we're not going to do some of our capital projects, but to me, I would feel much more comfortable long run leaving some money in that capital projects, and then also kind of balancing reoccurring costs that we start to incur over the year to make sure, because again, once all the ESSER funds run out this year and the next year, it's back to, we don't know what the economic state will be. So, any questions on that, Jared? So, and I'll say one more thing. We're in a good place financially here, but I just want to make sure that I'm staying ahead of this so we stay in a good place for years to come. So looking at the long run here.
Thank you. We will move right into some new business. First item under new business is to approve the mentor stipend.
So I talked about this last year a little bit, but the year kind of got kicked off. Mentors get $500 per person for first year teachers, and then mentors can also have second year teachers. So what I'd like to do is offer them $225 per person they mentor. I think it's just a good faith effort to they spend a lot of time with those individuals, so to pay them for their services there. Looking at, we would have 12 second year or new to the district mentors at $250. I'm sorry, I said $225, I meant $250 for a total cost of $3,000 this year.
Questions, concerns, or do we hear a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Roger Bridgman, seconded by Tim
Lisa?
I said it.
Oh. Oh, it's okay, we didn't hear her. We heard it. Sorry.
I guess she heard me because I'm right beside her.
The second year mentor and new to the district mentor receive $250 stipend per person. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? 7 yes.
The next item is in our board policy is policy 2525 that has been updated. Dr. Davison, do you have?
Yep, so we were looking at this, the law changed a couple of years ago on the amount of credits needed to graduate, which is 24. So what we have is cohorts of students. We went from a block scheduling a couple of years ago, which would allow students to take a total of 32 credit hours, needing to pass 28 to graduate. So with that changed to 24, and we're now a traditional 7-hour schedule. We can stair-step that down, so the class of 2023 would need 25 credit hours, and the class of 2024 would need 24 credit hours. So by approving this policy, it just puts us in compliance with that state law.
Being in compliance is a good thing. Do I hear a motion?
Sure. Motion by Tiffany Diggins, seconded by Sean Siebert, to approve policy 2525 as presented. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? 7 yes.
The next item is we need to approve adjusting the sporting event pay.
So right now, our individuals who work the volleyball games are at $40 a night, so it's $20 per game. And then we're at $15 for other events. So to try to even that out so we get staff to work those events, we're looking at changing all events to $30 for that evening. So if it's 2 volleyball games, it's 15 apiece to make it 30. If it's a JV basketball, varsity basketball, it's 15 apiece to make it 30. So there's a recommendation of our AD looking at that. But when we look at it currently, there's $9,350 spent with that, and the proposed would be $9,345. It'd actually be a $5 cost savings.
Is there any discussion, or somebody want to make a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Sherry Sheedy, seconded by Jennifer Moreland, that all sporting event pay be raised to $30 per event, $15 per game for volleyball, softball, basketball, and baseball. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? 7 yes.
Next,
So based on this, like the proposal in here though, football and track were also altered. Is that need to be part of the motion as well?
So there were,
Find out.
correct. So for volleyball, softball, baseball,
So
basketball.
basically every sport. was
Everything except for cross country.
Somewhat altered, well, actually not.
Cross country stays at $15, and then all the others, because there's usually 2 events, it's 15 apiece, or if there's one.
So
So-
15 per game, because those have to,
They have 2.
Right,
The
but
track doesn't
currently football was 25 and we're proposing it at 30.
It says all sporting event paid at 30 per hour, or per event.
Event.
Okay. I'm just saying we specifically, like, said those sports, but what we're currently paying to what's being proposed, I just don't know if those sports need to be specifically listed out, since it is a change, so to speak.
Would you like them listed out? I mean, we have the,
As long as whatever's on that piece of paper.
correct,
I'm good.
Yeah.
yep.
I just want to make sure that our motion doesn't need to be specified. No, I don't, I can still, we didn't know if we needed to.
are we changing the motion? That's what we have.
If we want to be specific, we can, that's fine.
The way that it reads, it says, I move to approve all sporting events paid to $30 per event. So that's the blanket statement.
Sounds good.
That covers all.
And/or excluding cross country if you want to add that, because that stays at 15.
And then, yeah, so.
So you might need to add that
If
in.
we're gonna-
And then-
If there's gonna be an addition, it would be for cross-country, because everything else would be.
Yeah,
Right, and then you
everything
just
else would
attach
fall
that
under.
to the minutes. Compliance. Just attach that to your minutes.
That's all you want?
Yeah, that's fine.
Attach that to your minutes.
Next item is we need to take a look at regulation 1450.
So, regulation, there's an update into what are closed records for the school. There are 18 of them. I don't know that I'll go through and read all of them. Actually, there's 24. This has been updated for our legal counsel. But these include legal matters, real estate matters, personal matters, mental or physical health, student matters, test matters, welfare cases, and employee negotiations, software codes, bidding matters, personnel records, protected records, proprietary information, hotlines, communications with district auditor, critical incidents, security systems, computer telecommunication systems, credit card information, foster care. I did read all those names.
So I'll make a motion to approve the regulation.
Second.
Motion by Sean Seibert, seconded by Jennifer Moreland to approve regulation 1450 as presented. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? 7 yes.
Next item is, when do we want to have another board meeting, guys? We're suggesting that we do it on September 15th. Seems early in the morning to me, but will we have the bills by the 15th, or should we do it on the
I said
22nd?
13th or 15th. Oh, they said 13th. Yeah, 15th is block party.
Thank you.
Yeah. I heard, I don't know, my brain heard 13th, and I was like, yeah, the 13th looks great, but no, 15th is block party, of course.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you for letting us know.
Still got the
Yes,
cross-country
yes.
meet that night too. I don't know if that he's.
Do we need to go back to the 22nd? Is that too late?
That would probably be a better.
So what's the calendars all look like on the 22nd?
I won't be here.
I
I've got
I will not be here then.
We have middle school.
That's where you're gonna run into August sports.
Last year I just ducked over for a block party. I mean, I was gonna do the thing where I do my board report and roll back.
I was gonna say, recalling last year, Mr. Cross came in, spoke, and then went back to the block party. So if we do need to do the 15th, that's fine as well.
Does that work better?
And the other suggestion I would have is Tuesday, 20th. Could you be here? Minus 1.
There's one on the 15th. That regular Thursday meeting. He said that you could come over to the block party. Is that too early for Bill's though?
That's kind of early for us to go cross country.
Yeah, Bills is what I'm be concerned
Yeah.
about. Is it too early for Bills on the 15th?
A little bit. You'll get partial bills. What's that?
We have to have a board meeting.
Mhm.
21st.
That was good.
21st is good with me. That's Wednesday, the 21st.
That works for me.
There's no school schedule events that day.
I'll make a motion then we do it on September the 21st.
Motion by Roger Bridgman, seconded by Jennifer Moreland, that the September board meeting be scheduled on Wednesday, September 21st, 2022, at 6 p.m. with closed session to follow. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? 7 yes.
Next item is we need to go into closed session after a 10-minute recess.
A motion that we go into closed session. Discuss.
Motion by Jennifer Moreland, seconded by Roger Bridgman, to go into closed session in accordance with the provisions of section 610.021,
Last month was too. Yay!
Thank you all for being here.